Well, hello, this is Rosa, rcgkreations. How are you doing? I'm bringing to you today a meal, an entire meal, main course, and 2 side dishes. And this is all made with pressure can items. What I did here is I got some pork shoulder that I processed February this year. See, there it is. Doesn't look very pretty, but it tastes good. I've got some maple carrots, and these are carrots that I sliced, and I added some maple syrup on the inside of it. That was done November 2020. This is just rice that brown rice that I had here, so I'm going to do that. Oops. And then here is our cream of chicken powder to make cream of chicken soup. Now, I do have like 2 cans left of cream of chicken soup, but hubby doesn't like to do stuff like this. So he gets the cans and I do this because I like to show people that there's a lot cheaper way when you make your own powder mixes and it tastes just as good. And in fact, I made it and he loved it. So, but to make it easy on myself, I write down how to do it all together on the container so I don't have to worry about go finding that recipe. And here on my rice, because brown rice is a little bit different than white rice, I write it how you do it, and it's on a label. So this will always be here, and then I'll just refill this when this one's empty. Okay, so let's get rolling, because the rice is going to take longer than anything. Okay, so we're going to need 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Bring the water to a boil. So I got my water here in my pot. Let's bring her up to a boil. I'm not going to put my fan on because it's a little too noisy. And let's measure out 1 cup. 1 cup of rice. And here's my extra. I use whatever jar I have at the time when I'm processing something, so don't pay attention to the size. It's just a jar that I had at the time. Okay, so it's a little bit less than a cup. Let's put a little bit more. Okay, we'll save this for just a minute, and then I'm just going to transfer this little bit of rice left over into this jar. This is what's going to stay in my pantry for the next time. Then I'll just grab another jar. I got maybe 10 or 12 of these jars. They're different sizes. I don't pay too much attention to it. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a boil. Once it boils, we'll add the rice in there, stir it, and then we're going to simmer. It says here simmer for 50 minutes, and we want to leave a lid on it, okay? And then once the 50 minutes is up, then we can take the lid off, fluff it up, and let it sit for 10 minutes and it's ready to roll. Now this is just a recipe that I got on this whole grain brown rice. Okay, so we'll let that come to a boil. And then while that's being done, I'm not going to make my cream of chicken soup yet, but I am going to go, I don't need this one. I'm going to open up my pork shoulder, and I'm going to put it in the pot to bring it to a low simmer. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and cook it in the juices and everything, because that is some good broth. In fact, let's taste it. Look at that. See what the inside of it is? Yeah, they call it ugly chicken. Even though this is a pork shoulder, it's still the same thing. Any kind of a meat product. So I'm going to put it in my little pot, because I'm running out of pots. Okay, let me get myself a wood spoon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use my spatula because I'm not going to touch anything hot. And I'm just going to take all the goodies out. Because don't waste your goodies. Save them. And put them in your pot to heat them up. Because that's meat. We'll wash that. And here, I'm going to do this close so you can hear it go, psst. Do you hear that? Psst. That means it's a good seal. And all canners love that seal. They love that noise. So I'm going to use my little, there we go. Move this around. It's got a couple of goodies. And there's a little bit of fat in there because the pork shoulder had some fat in it. That's okay, it ain't going to hurt nothing. And as you can see, actually I don't need this anymore. This was canned in February 2022. And I will tell you, there's a little bit of an odor that comes out, but it's okay. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Okay, so I'm coming to a rapid boil. Let me just read again. Bring to a boil, then reduce the heat to a simmer for 50 minutes. So there's my boil. Let's go to a simmer. For me is 1. Gonna let that, I'm gonna put this over here to wash my dishes. Let's give this a little stir. And you can add oil or salt if you want to your rice. I choose not to. But, you know, you do your own research, you do your own thing, do whatever is best for you. Because all we're going to do is now bring it to, oh, I need to get my lid. I hope I don't bump the camera. We're going to let this simmer. I set my timer for 50 minutes. And then we're done for right now because this, which is the chicken, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to set my timer for, see, that's 50 minutes. I'm going to set my timer in 25 minutes to put this on a low simmer. And all I want to do, because it's already it's cooked because the pressure canner cooks your meat for you. So all I have to do is heat it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain it. Okay, and then I'm going to add my cream of mushroom soup in here. And so we're going to have cream of mushroom soup, cream of chicken soup over this pork shoulder. Mix it all up, and that's going to go over the bed of rice. And then my carrots will be my side dish. And, oh yeah, that's my water for my thing. So once this is, you know what, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. Then I'm going to drain it. So this way I have a pot, because I don't know how to pots. I'm going to have to heat this up. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up now. But I'm going to do it at a, whoops, wrong burner. I'm going to do this at a low simmer. I'm still going to set my timer for 25 minutes. But I'll continue to stir on this, so I won't go very far. I'll just finish up reading my junk email. We'll catch you when we come back. Now I am going to go ahead and season my meat. I'm going to put some poultry seasoning in it. In fact, I can go ahead and do that right now. Because while it's simmering, we can add all these goodies. And I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to pour. I just do that unless it's something I really don't know. Oh, this is a brand new container. So let me open it up. This is minced onions. Y'all know I love me some onions. Hubby did, but these are tiny, so they won't stay very long. And especially in that moisture, I'm going to put a little bit in there. And then we're going to do some garlic powder. Now, hubby and I both love garlic powder. And I'm going to do some paprika. This is just regular paprika. I'm not using my smoked paprika. I don't have too much left, and I want to savor it for something I know I really want. And with this, because this was pressure canned meat, I know it has a good flavor to it. Okay, so let's stir this up. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. I'll put it like a low, medium. And all I want to do is stir the spices around to all the meat so it has time to simmer, get hot, start to boil a little bit to cook up this chicken. Not cook up this chicken, excuse me, to heat up this chicken. Excuse me, it's not even chicken, it's pork shoulder. I just got in from work. Hubby's not feeling too well, so it's up to me for dinner. I took this out for him to make because he gets home 2 hours before I do. That's why he cooks most of the time. But he was homesick today. It's here in Texas. It's 80 degrees one day. The next day it's 40 something. Then it's 50 something. Then it's back to the 80s or the 70s. So you're back and forth, back and forth. And the allergies are, the pollen was really bad. So we think that's what it is because he's got no fever. He's got no body aches. He just has congestion. So we're pretty sure it's allergies. And we did do the home COVID test. He's totally fine. Negative. Okay. So that's going to simmer. I'm going to set my timer. And then we'll bring you back. More than likely, we'll bring you back when we get ready to do the cream of chicken soup. Okay, we are back. I am now ready to start the cream of chicken soup. And the recipe says add 1/3 cup of mix in the saucepan with 1.5 cups of water, constantly stirring and whisking. So 1/3 cup. Oh, I'm going to get a new cup because that one's wet. Let's see, 1/3 cup. Let's get our mix. I'm going to do it over here because you know me, I'm messy. And I may spill, and I don't want to spill all over my floor. Oh, you know what? Let me do it the easy way. I'm going to dip it inside here. So I'm going to do it the easy way. And I know I can use my fingers, but since I have my little tool, and yes, look. Oops. See that? I spilled. Me, I can't do anything without spilling. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in here. And then you just, because this is a Teflon coated pan, I'm not using my wire whisk. I want to use my Teflon coated whisk, and this is the only one we had that's really big one. So now you just continue to whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk until it gets the consistency of a regular can of cream of chicken soup. And it'll get thick because I've done this before. And in fact, I'll put the link to my video when I made this mix so you can see that. And then let me bring you just a little bit closer so you can see how. See, there's the bit, those little pieces, those are pieces of dehydrated chicken. Because I ordered my number 10 cans of dehydrated meat through an online service. I'm going to be honest with you. I have like 2 cans left. I think it's 2 cans left. So I haven't been in the market, shoot, in about over 5 years to buy more. So I know there's out there, but I don't know. I think I'm almost positive Thrive is one that sells it. I know the LDS store sells it. And there's a couple more that I know of. If I remember, I'll go ahead and put links in the description box so you can go right to them. If you want to go ahead and order, and I do have it's dehydrated chicken, ham, pork, sausage, ground beef, and you see it starting to bubble. Well, you don't see it. See here, it's starting to bubble? And see how it's getting thick? So it doesn't really take very long because I haven't stopped the camera at all this whole time. It's just a steady stream here, and we're just about ready. And let me read my directions just one more time, make sure. And let's see, it says, add 1/2 cup, constantly stirring with whisk, comes to a boil. Then you turn the heat off. Okay, so once it comes to a boil, okay, it's coming to a boil. So I'm going to turn the heat off. Turn the heat off once it comes to a boil. But you continue to whisk it for 5 more minutes. And then it's done. And this dehydrated chicken is really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer my heated up pork shoulder in here, and it's going to get coated. And then I'm going to put this over the bed of rice, which my bed of rice is over here. Oh, my burner's not on. My back burner's not on. I'm going to put that back on low. I didn't realize my back burner's not on. Okay. Oh, so that's been about 2 minutes, so I got 3 more minutes. And I'm just using my clock here. I'm not using no timer. Oh, and this isn't going to take much longer. This is going to be ready. Just start heating up my corn. My carrots. And all I want to do is heat them up because they were pressure canned, so they're already cooked. But I'm going to do this on a low heat. So you just continue to stir, stir, stir with the whisk. Okay. My heat is turned. Yeah, my heat is turned off. I'm just making sure. Oh, did I do the wrong one? My heat's turned off on the front, and my rear has a low heat because we still need that rice to simmer and cook. Got 2 more minutes, and then it'll be ready. So you just continue to stir, continue to whisk. Comes to a boil, turn off the heat, continue to whisk, and then we'll let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so it's totally cooled down, cooled off. Let it sit for 5 minutes to rehydrate everything. And this mix, this amount here, makes 1 can of soup. So if you need more, oh yeah, that is so creamy. You can definitely taste the chicken. So no more buying cans of chicken soup, chicken or mushroom soup, any condensed cream. Because this recipe goes for any of those. You just add, like I added dehydrated mushrooms to my cream of mushroom soup. This one had dehydrated chicken. You use the same powder mix. You just add the different flavorings, like if you want to do broccoli, or if you want to do asparagus, any of those cream soups. If there's a cream soup out there, you can make it yourself. You just got to add your dehydrated dry ingredient to it. And if you don't have dehydrated, or you can't do that, you know what? Once it's through mixing, add your fresh or your canned chicken, but make sure it's little bite-sized pieces, chopped up broccoli, asparagus, and it'll be fresh. But I'm doing it this way. I don't need this anymore. I'm doing this way because I want to be able to preserve and make this whenever I want it. And it stays on my shelf, so it's shelf stable. And I did put on here, this has a 1-year shelf life. In fact, let me get this so you can see it for those of you who want to screenshot it. And excuse my writing. I can read my writing, but hubby can't. I can't. And of course, just like any other powder, it's going to settle. It might get a little bit stiff. You just got to go in there and stir it up ever so often. You know, if that happens, because it does. Your powder does that too. So there's nothing good in here or there. That's just part of the way it is. Because remember, we're not putting any items, I don't know what you call it, that give it a long shelf life like all the manufacturers do. So like anything you buy, you store-bought, preservatives. They put preservatives in there so it gives it a longer shelf life so they can make more money. Because, you know, they're in the business to make money. So you can't blame them on that. Now I'm going to clean up my little spiel. I'm going to turn you off, and then I'm going to bring you back when we come and do the taste test. I'm going to bring you back early. I want to show you. Here's where I drained the juice from my pork shoulder. But all the little pieces of onion are in there. See how it's still nice and hot? It's simmering. I hope you can see that in the camera. You may not be able to. But I've got all nice and warm, so it's all heated up. Man, it smells so good. In fact, let's do a little bit of a taste test. Oh yeah, The seasonings are fantastic in that. We're gonna have some good eating today. Now I'm just gonna stir that up in my cream sauce. Now there's not a lot of cream, but I didn't want a lot of cream. I just kind of wanted to coat it. Of course, I could have doubled the recipe and done more, but it's just me and hubby. So we're totally fine with this because this is just coated. And bear with me one second, I'm going to show you in the camera. So this one is totally done. But I'm not going to do the taste test until I have my rice ready. But I'm going to show you something. Look at the bottom of my pan. Oops. Let me turn my camera so I can see. Okay, see how that? Look at that. And those are little pieces of chicken. Because I'm using my homemade cream of chicken soup. And you see how it's not a whole lot? I really didn't think I would need to add a whole lot. And I did. Now one part right here, look. I did right there. It sat a little too long. I didn't mix it well all the way up. So make sure when you're mixing it, you go to all the corners on your pot to make sure that it all gets mixed up very well. So, I'm going to move this over here. That is ready. I know my carrots are heated up. Let me turn up the heat just a tad. We'll go wake up. I think hubby's asleep. If hubby's asleep, I'm not going to wake him up. Because he may need to rest because he's not feeling very well. Let's see how much more time. Okay, I got 7 more minutes on my rice. So, we're going to have to bring it back for the taste test because I really want to do that. Because when it comes to brown rice, I like to follow it exactly to the T, the way the recipe asks for. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll bring it back and then we'll do a taste test. Okay, we are back. And I have to show you. Look at my rice. Nice and fluffy. Look at that. Turned out really well. Yay! Okay, so what I've got here is my rice on the bottom. Let me bring you up close. My rice is on the bottom. And then my pork shoulder mixed with my cream of mushroom soup and my maple glazed carrots. So let's do a taste. Let's get a little bit of carrot. Hubby really enjoys steamed carrots, cooked carrots. I like them better raw. But let's do a little bit of carrot and a little bit of the mix. That maple on those glazed carrots is fantastic. This is my dessert. Because you know, everybody knows I'm on my my regular subscribers know I'm on a weight loss program and it's really working. So typically I would have biscuits with this or cornbread or a slice of bread, but we're staying away from bread as much as possible. And yes, we still cheat. Yes, we do. But we're going to try it when we can. We're going to try not to do it. So this is my dessert. I did not make any dessert. But with the maple that it sat and simmered for over a year, it's in every bite of the carrot. And the carrots are so soft. They're not mushy, but they're soft. Now the main course, which is the brown rice with the pressure can pork shoulder and the cream of mushroom powdered mix that I made. The flavors are just there. It's fantastic. And you know what? I don't have to add any salt. No more pepper. Nothing. Because the flavor in the meat is just like awesome. The sweetness of the maple and the carrots is fantastic. And this rice is cooked perfectly, just like the ingredients said. So do yourself a favor. Get yourself some of these disposable labels, any label you want, but I like disposable because they're easy to wash off. Get them anywhere online, Amazon, whatever. Write down how to do it, how much of a measurement, how to cook it, how long, the whole shebang. So you always have how to make it next time. And do the same thing for any of your powder mixes that you're doing. So I'm going to go eat. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And share me with your friends. Take care now. Bye-bye.